Hello there, WCW Starrcade fans. This is Derek, the V Extreme, as always, and I'm commentating this most interesting match, to say the least, and it's going to be very exciting, as it's Sid Vicious fighting Scott Steiner, fighting Shelton Benjamin in a triple threat match. Winner will face Hadouken for the Intercontinental Championship later on and start on this awesome CPV known as Starrcade. Now, Sid Vicious, I mean, just gotta look at this man. I'm afraid of this man personally, because I would never want to be in the ring with him. I might be powered bombed to death. And just look at him coming in. He's just an intimidating force to be reckoned with. Just get and now, look at him. Sid Vicious just staring. I mean, just look at Sid. He's just a very intimidating man. I mean, I have to say he's a favorite in this match. I mean, even with Scott Steiner and how great Scott Steiner is, I just gotta say Sid Vicious all the way. Shelton Benjamin, he is gonna be at a disadvantage in this match. I mean, he's fighting two veterans of wrestling. And now, speaking of epic promo making, let's hear Scott Steiner. God. And I have to say, Hadouken has to be worried that, I mean, he's gonna be watching this match with great velocity, because if Scott Steiner, I mean, think about it this way: if Scott Steiner or Sid Vicious, or just anyone wins, I mean, he's not having much time to prepare for them. I mean, he just had to go at them right away. And Scott Steiner and Sid Vicious, they're just veterans of wrestling. They got more experience. And yeah, Scott Steiner's also currently the United States champion since he beat Sultan Shetty. Man, just look at Scott Steiner, big bad booty daddy. And Scott Steiner is at his most epicness when he's in NESC, because because of his epic theme song and his great promo making. It is great. And like I said before, Shelton Benjamin's going to need a lot of work on this event. And we also got more coming on this Starrcade CPV too. It's going to be DJ versus Stardust, and that's going to be a very interesting match. I mean, Stardust, I mean, kind of ruined the beginning for DJ, but I gotta admit, DJ had that coming for me. He was talking about Javari Smart, a man who's not even in WCW, and he's just talking bad about him. I mean, just really, DJ needs to get over his obsession with Javari Smart. And although when Stardust came out there, I was really excited for that. And it was kind of funny. He just completely owned Nina Boston in that when he basically called her a slut and everything. This is great. Well, here comes that Shelton Benjamin, the gold standard. Shelton Benjamin's a very impressive wrestler to me, very athletic. And we also got more to come. Speaking of athletic people, it's going to be TX3 versus The Miz! Yes! For the Cruiserweight title. And that's going to be an interesting match, but I'm going to pull for The Miz all the way, because The Miz is awesome! He's this great guy. Man, he's the future of WWE. And then we have the WCW Money in the Bank match. And this match starts, and the Money in the Bank match is LaMarcus Carter versus Shawn Dynasty. The whole freaking show versus The Rock versus Sting versus Rick Ashton versus John Morrison. I've got to say, that's going to be one exciting match. I don't know who to pull for. LaMarcus Carter has proven that he's a great wrestler in WCW and other leagues too. Shawn Dynasty and LaMarcus Carter have a thing going. And apparently, LaMarcus Carter's ex-girlfriend, Lady Meow, has picked Shawn Dynasty over him. So I mean, you gotta question the mental game of LaMarcus Carter. And then The Rock, I mean, he's a legend on his own. And it's just a surprise that WCW can pay him enough so he can come here. WWE can't even pay that. Sting, he retired in WEDF and he's fighting here. He pulled a Ric Flair. Rick Acid, he's the so-called future of Call. I don't really know about that, but hey, it's always good for him to have confidence. And John Morrison, he's gonna definitely be really athletic in this match, and the Money in the Bank match. I mean, imagine John Morrison with a ladder in his hand. And then finally for the main event match, it'll be John Cena versus Batista for the WCW title. And on the main event, Batista attacked John Cena viciously with no reason whatsoever. And what ended up happening is that the doctors have begged, they have pleaded on their knees to John Cena, telling him that he should not go. But John Cena, with his never say give, and having his loyalty and respect for the WCW fans, he refuses to miss it. So Batista's going to have an advantage, but John Cena will not back down from a challenge. And I've got to get back to this match, because it's my job and everything. And now, what's he doing? Sean Benjamin, Irish whip, and what strength by Shelton Benjamin, really showing the strength-wise and not just as athletic-wise. Sid Vicious, I mean, I actually feel bad for Scott Steiner's, I believe it, Scott Steiner and Shelton Benjamin's health. I mean, imagine if Sid Vicious can powerbomb one of these two, man. That could end their freaking career. One freaking powerbomb could kill a man if it's done by Sid Vicious. And surprisingly, Sid Vicious has came back from his leg injury. Wait a minute. He got Scott Steiner up for the Razor's Edge, but Scott Steiner reverses it cleverly right into a neckbreaker. Scott Steiner and Sid Vicious have an equal amount. Well, I'm not going to say equal. I don't know how long they've both been in wrestling. But a double team move. Well, that's going to happen. They both have a good number of years in wrestling. That's something we can all agree on. So, I mean, they all know their stuff. And but you gotta think maybe age-wise and maybe speed-wise, Shelton Benjamin can outpower these two. Because, I mean, think about it. Scott Steiner is like, I don't know how old, but he's old. I mean, he's in TNA, so you know he has to be old. The two things you need to do to be in TNA is you had to be a wrestler for at least 15 years, and you have to not be able to wrestle at any way. Third is just that you can't make sense in promo-wise. That's basically TNA in a nutshell. And look at Shelton Benjamin's face being rapidly bounced right off the steel steps. Good grief! Sid Vicious is an animal. And speaking of animals, Batista is fighting John Cena. After what he did to John Cena, I have to say he's capable of winning. But even though I don't like John Cena, I'm gonna say I respect him. I respect him for some of the stuff he's done in WWE. I don't want to hate him. I mean, he's a pretty good guy. Wise, he tries to get other people over, and now Scott Steiner pulling him in. And he was going to hit, but Shelton Benjamin knocked him right off. And Shelton Benjamin is trying to go out, but it seems like both these men are just double teaming him. And yeah, they are really now. What a drop right on both their knees, really trying to tear up the ribs of Shelton Benjamin. Wait a minute, Steiner recliner, and Sid Vicious smartly getting that off. So I mean, I don't know any average man who could stay in that Steiner recliner for long. And a hit. And now Irish whip and throw him back and right into a drop kick. God, this is pretty much back and forth match. And I just can't wait for this rest of the CPV. I mean, it's going to be awesome. Even more awesome for the fact that The Miz is in it. And a huge Miz mark out. I mean, just the fact I say The Miz, it just makes me want to mark. He's just that epic. He is the future of WWE And I want to say called generally. And what a DDT. And now wait a minute. Sid Vicious with his own Steiner recliner, and kick right off. I know one thing about Scott Steiner is he has pride. He wouldn't let Shelton Benjamin tap out to anything else but his Steiner recliner. So you can, and now, the hit.